So today I'm going to show you how I made this poster. When I first started this poster, I thought it was going to be a lot more typography based, but the more that I worked on it, it changed and it actually became more collage focused. But I still try out a bunch of different things with typography, so there's a little bit of typography experiments in there as well. So if you like collage or typography, I think this will be a good video for you. But that's enough talking, let's get into the poster design. So for this poster, I already had the typography laid out the way that I wanted. Sorry I skipped a step, but I had just started working on the poster, and since I kind of liked the way that it was going, I thought I would record it. But really, I didn't do anything crazy with the typography, so I hope you can forgive me. But I really had this idea of kind of creating this sea collage, and it would all center around this typography. Other than that, I didn't have much to go off of. So really, I just brought in some different photographs, and I was just trying to cut them up in unique ways and put it all together. Now this is when I had the idea to bring in some typography and make it a little bit more exciting. Now the reason I started this poster is because I was listening to a song that I really like by one of my favorite bands, and the song is called Into the Sea. And so I thought I would just turn it into a poster that was about that song. And so I thought, I'll just add in the lyrics. So that's what I did. I just brought in the lyrics and I wanted to see what would happen. And coincidentally, where the lyrics ended actually matched up almost perfectly with where I was putting the collage. And so I thought this was just a great coincidence, and I was just gonna keep heading in that direction because that's already thought where I wanted to put it. So this was just kind of reinforcing that idea. So once I had that set up, I thought the next best thing would just be to start creating the collage, just experimenting and just kind of putting different elements together and seeing what I could come up with. Honestly, I felt like I had a little bit of trouble with this design because this isn't typically how I do collages. And so I felt like I had to approach this design a lot differently than I would normally. And so I kind of had to get out of my comfort zone and do things a little bit differently. But honestly, I think that's what makes the end result so good, and also a lot more exciting because it's different than what I would normally do. But anyways, the more I worked on this poster, I started to like it a lot more. I thought the scene that I was crafting was interesting, but it was also on point. And so I thought there was nothing else really to do but just to keep on going and just kind of experimenting and see where it takes me. And so even though I really liked the composition that I had originally, it just wasn't working with the collage that I had made. And so I thought, let's scratch that and let's make a composition that works for the collage that I've made. So that's what I did. I just started kind of experimenting with the layouts a little bit more and just seeing what I thought might look good and might work well with the collage that I've made. I tried a couple different things, but for whatever reason, nothing was just kind of sticking with me. One of the things that I did like was kind of having everything being centered and just a small portion of lyrics, as well as the band name at the very bottom. It had a very nice clean look to it, and I was almost going to stop there, but something told me to keep going and just kind of experimenting a little bit more. And so the idea that I had was I was going to use the shape of the collage and make the text kind of form around it. For some reason, I thought that would look really good. It's something that I do like to do, but for whatever reason, I wanted to use it here, even though it definitely wasn't my first thought to do so. So that's what I did. I created a shape and then I just filled it in with the text just to see what it would look like. I tried to play around with the justification of the text a little bit, but what I ended up doing was kind of breaking a taboo and justifying the text to the right, which coincidentally enough perfectly aligned with the center of the poster. So once again, I thought this was a great coincidence and it just reinforced what I was already making, so I just kind of kept going with it. I definitely think it makes the poster a little bit more interesting by doing this because it kind of breaks that rule and kind of makes it feel a little bit more experimental and creative rather than just going with the rules and going what you would typically do. But once I had that set, it was really just adding the band name, and then I also wanted to add the album title as well as the number of the poster of the design. But after that, it was just adding texture, and that was it. And here's the final result. Typically, I don't do collages in this kind of way, so this was just a lot of fun to make. I also felt like I got to experiment with typography in a way that I don't normally do. So really, this entire poster was just one big experiment, and honestly, it was just a lot of fun, and I think that the results are pretty cool. It definitely has an interesting layout and composition that I don't think I would normally do. But really, since I was in a very exploratory mood whenever I was making this, I was just kind of trying whatever came to my head, and I think the results kind of speak to that. It was definitely not what I was expecting to make whenever I started this, but I'm happy with the results. But leave a comment and tell me what you think. Is it a good poster? Is it a bad poster? Is there something I should have done differently? Let me know. But if you found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, I'd appreciate it if you would check out the rest of my channel and then consider subscribing. I hope to see you in the next video.